Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm glad you are here. Our movement today is all going to be done while resting in bed or on the couch or on the floor. And we just want to be nice and comfy. So whatever surface you're on, I recommend having 2 pillows today. One for underneath the head and one underneath the knees if that sounds nice. So as we settle in, getting the pillow underneath the head to feel supportive with our shoulders off the pillow. And maybe we can walk our shoulder blades underneath our heart space so our collarbones feel nice and spacious and open. And then we'll start with our feet on the bed or sofa or ground with our knees to the sky, having our feet about hip-width distance apart. We want our low back to feel supported without any pressure. We want our belly to feel like it can soften without using any of our core strength. And then just as we settle in, take any adjustments you need to help this feel really restorative. Maybe that's a rock of the hips to settle in. Maybe a little wiggle of the jaw or rocking the feet from side to side. And we'll just start to land with our breath here, finding our inhale through our nose into our rib cage so the full torso expands forward, backwards into the earth, side to side, taking up some space. And then our exhale can go out the nose or the mouth, whatever feels good, but we just want to be able to get a full exhale, slower and longer than our inhale, getting every drop of air out and making room for a new, fresh, cleansing breath in through the nose. And drawing it out, our exhale. Starting to just find a rhythm that feels cleansing, that feels restorative, that doesn't take too much effort, that just can feel natural. Setting your own pace, your own tempo. Every inhale, focusing on that expansion. And every exhale, letting it clear something out so you can just settle in that much more. Maybe the hips feel like they can get heavier. Maybe the heart can soften into the mat. And every breath, just being intentional with our inhale and exhale, setting our own pace, making a conscious choice with what we're inviting into our breath and what we're letting go. If it feels nice to place one hand on the heart, one on the low belly to really feel where the breath lands in the body. You might notice that the breath really naturally comes up into the chest. We want to try to drop the breath just a little bit lower so we feel like we're getting that expansion in our torso with our inhale. And that we feel like we can really soften our exhale from the pits of our lungs so we can get every drop out and let it be cleansing and restorative. Breaths here. Maybe on these last few breaths, we might exhale out the mouth, really cleansing. Maybe it's an audible exhale. Maybe it's a little bit of a sigh as we exhale it out. Maybe as we sigh, we can rock the jaw from side to side, just inviting some space between our top teeth and our bottom teeth. A few more breaths here, in through the nose, sighing it out. If you would like to stay here longer and just rest in your breath and feel supported and held, please feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. If you'd like to join me in some gentle movement, we'll just bring our arms out to the sides of our body, palms to the sky, and find a gentle neck movement so we can gently let the head tilt over onto the right ear to gaze down at the right fingertips. It can be a really small movement or a big rotation. And on our inhale, we'll gently bring the head back to center, staring straight up at the sky. And then on your next breath, we'll let the head fall over to look at the left fingertips. And on your inhale, your breath guides your movement, bringing the head back to center and just starting to move like this. Your own pace, your own tempo. Letting the head fall to the right, gaze looks at the right fingertips. Inhale, head back to center, and exhale over to the left side. If you would like to just have your eyes closed, feel free. If it feels better to have the eyes just softly, gently gazing down, that's an option. And if the pillow feels like it's giving you a little kink in the neck, or it's not the right angle and you'd rather have the head flat on your support surface, feel free to just move it out from underneath you and have that neck rotation on a solid ground. Keeping the inhales, bringing us back to center. Every exhale, just softening into that little rotation. Keeping the breath in that rib cage, expansion, and then releasing and settling. Seeing how slow we can make our movements, taking the full inhale to bring the head back to center, and taking that full lengthened exhale to get over to our rotation. Whenever you feel like you'd like an exhale out the mouth, feel free to take it. Take about 2 more full rounds here, inhaling to center, exhale rotation. If during any of these movements today you'd prefer to have the knees bent or extending the legs out long, you can choose what feels better on the low back. You can keep the feet bent with the knees to the sky, or if it feels better to extend the legs out long and feel that expansion in the full front of the body, you can add on a little bit of length here. Taking a moment, evening out on both sides. And then we'll meet. Head back to center, gazing neutral. Take a few breaths just to reset in our stillness. Maybe a few exhales out the mouth. Starting to bring that awareness to our back body and just notice every place that your back meets the mat. From the crown of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes, feeling that support and connection. And then keeping that inward awareness, that inward focus, we're going to just do a gentle movement with our fingers if that feels nice. Bringing our thumb first to our pointer finger, just giving it a little tap, and then our thumb to our middle finger, to our ring finger, and to our pinky. And then going back the opposite direction, thumb to ring finger, to middle finger, to pointer finger. And just keeping that little rhythm, whatever pace feels nice. Our goal is to just notice those little sensations, however small the movement is, however light the sensation might be. And just enjoying that small opportunity to find movement, to find dexterity, to find connection. We'll take a few rounds of breath here, in through the nose, letting it go, in through the nose, sighing it out. Finishing whatever round you're on, so every finger feels like it got some equal attention and love. And when you're ready, we'll bring both hands onto our low belly and just take a few breaths here, feeling that connection with those fingers that have been awakened. And if some shoulder rotation feels nice, we're going to keep our left hand just resting on our torso. We're going to bring our right hand, fingertips up to the sky, just coming straight up from the earth, straight up from our shoulder. starting with the thumb inward toward our body, pinky outside, with the palm facing towards our feet. And on your inhale, we're going to lift the shoulder up off the earth like you're trying to touch the ceiling above you. And as we inhale, we're going to inwardly rotate our palms. So the pinky goes inward towards your body, the palm rotates up overhead. And then as we exhale, we're going to unravel that rotation so that our thumb comes back to center, pinky to the outside, and our shoulder gently and controls its way back down to meet the earth or our bed. Just moving like that on your count. Inhale, slowly lifting the fingers high, inwardly rotating the palm overhead. And slow exhale, gently bringing the shoulder back down to earth. Moving with your breath at your own pace. Trying to be very slow and intentional with our movements, just like we did with our head rotation. Trying to take the full inhale to get the fingertips high. And the full exhale to bring the shoulder blade back, rooted down. It can be such a small movement. Maybe it just lifts half an inch. Maybe that arm gets tired and you just want to rest it down and hold the fingertips up to the sky and take a breath just like that. We'll take 2 more rounds of breath here, just as an opportunity to find movement. Your decision, what you would like to do with it. And rather than making a conscious choice with our mind, just checking in with our energy, with our shoulder. How does that feel? And does our body want to keep going? Letting the next exhale go out the mouth. And then when you are ready, bringing that right hand back down to the low belly. And we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. Lifting our left fingertips, coming straight out from the shoulder, reaching them high to the sky, palm facing down to the feet, thumb inward towards the center of the torso. When you're ready, on an inhale, inwardly rotating the palm, pinky goes to midline, palms reaching overhead. On your exhale, shoulder lowers back down, nice and controlled, trying to make it a fluid movement. We're always going towards the direction of alignment, never a place to achieve. We never get to check that box. So maybe that shoulder rotation might look different tomorrow or different the next day, but we're just going towards the direction of rotating that palm upward and the direction of lowering the shoulder back down. However it feels nice inside the body. We inhale to lift the shoulder, rotate the palm up. We exhale to rotate the palm back down towards the feet. Slowing down your breath if you notice that it's gotten a little quicker. Maybe we can slow down our exhales a little bit more. Taking your time, maybe it feels different on one side than the other, and just noticing that, not needing to change anything. Just inviting some curiosity into our movements. Inward, we get to find that expression as we lift a little higher and take up a little bit more space. Exhale, we get to feel that support and that grounding as our shoulder blade tucks back under our heart space. Let's take 3 more rounds of breath here. Opportunity for movement, opportunity for stillness. Opportunity to really sigh out your exhales. Ready, bringing both hands on top of the low belly, letting the shoulders fully relax and just rest, feeling that spaciousness across the collarbone, the belly soften, the hips heavy. Finding our breath again, inhaling through the nose, expanding the rib cage. Exhale, lengthens out the nose or mouth, whatever feels easiest, like it takes less effort. And as we focus on our upper body in these movements, let's bring our awareness to our lower body in its stillness. Is it as comfortable as it could be? Would the legs prefer to be extended out long? Would they like a little movement side to side? Would the feet prefer to be planted and the low back feel supported? Taking that moment to check in and just really honor our body for what little changes and shifts it might like that we're capable of giving it. A few breaths here to find whatever movement or stillness feels nice. And maybe you rest here longer, or if you'd like to find a little rotation in the spine, we'll just gently roll onto our right side. Maybe that pillow stays underneath the neck. If you've moved it off, maybe we grab it and bring it back underneath the head. And then the pillow under the knees, both knees can rest on top of the pillow, or we can bring that pillow between our two knees for a little bit more support. We want to take a moment to really scoot our booty back in space so that our low back feels spacious and not compressed. And then that right arm that we're laying on, that's the base arm, can either be extended out in front of us or you can have it bent underneath the head. And then this left palm is just going to come to rest atop our forehead with the elbow up towards the sky. So take a moment to get situated. And we're focusing on an upper back rotation. So when you are ready, we'll just gently open up this top little chicken wing that our left hand is making. So our elbow is rotating behind us and our gaze is rotating up towards the sky. Our lower half of our body is going to stay exactly how it is. Maybe it gets a little tilt as we move. But our main focus is our upper back rotation, keeping some space between the top teeth and the bottom teeth, and finding our breath. So maybe we inhale, open up that elbow towards the opposite side of the room, gaze up to the sky, and then exhale, gently drawing that elbow back up high, neutralizing the spine, fully laying on our right side. Inhale, rotate open. Exhale, bringing it back. Again, this movement can be so tiny or so big, it doesn't matter. We really want to focus on what this shape feels like inside as we move, rather than focusing on what it looks like. Maybe the elbow doesn't go up straight to the sky. Maybe the gaze just shifts an inch or two. We're going towards the direction of opening up that heart space. We're going towards the direction of finding that rotation in the upper back and finding some space across the collarbones. Whatever that space and expansion feels nice to you. Keeping that inhale, lengthening our exhale, slow intentional movements. Take 2 last rounds of breath here. If at any point you need to just take a rest, hang out on that right side and find some stillness, feel free. And when you're ready, gently bringing the hips back to center so we're laying on our back with our feet on the earth, knees to the sky, and take a few rounds of breath here. Just finding a neutral spine, neutral gaze. Maybe noticing if there were any muscles that felt like they were working harder than they needed to, that we can just allow to relax. If you'd like to stay here longer, please do. If you're ready to do the same thing on the left side, we're just going to gently roll over. Knees bent again. Pillow can be underneath the knees or between the legs here. And taking a moment to shift that booty back in space, shift the hips back so we keep that lengthened spine. And then that left arm, same as the right before, we can extend it out long, or you can find a bend and have it underneath the head or pillow. And you don't have to do the same thing on both sides. If a different option feels better on this side, please take it. Taking a moment to settle in here, let's take a breath together, in through our nose. Sigh it out the mouth. And then keeping that softness in the jaw as we start to find this rotation, Our right hand this time can come to the head, elbow going towards the direction of the sky. And when you are ready, finding that opening across the chest as the right elbow draws over to the right side. And then on your exhale, gently bringing it back to center. So your gaze feels neutral with your hips over to that left side. Your inhale opens up in the upper body. Exhale brings it back, using the full breath to get there. And really focusing on that journey rather than the destination. We're focusing on that rotation. It's not an end goal. We're not hanging out there. We're just moving through it and coming back to that home base that we get to take a moment, take a beat to rest in. Keeping that flow with your breath. Seeing if we can slow it down even. Inhaling, open up. Exhale, bring it back. Let's take 3 more rounds here. Opportunity for movement, opportunity for stillness. What feels good on this side? And when you are ready, we'll gently come back to neutral and then back onto our backs. Hips center out. Maybe the feet are rooted with the knees to the sky. Head back on the pillow, gaze neutral to the sky. And then our last moment together is just a full resting pose. So decide what would be the most comfy you could possibly be. Is it with that pillow underneath the head? Are the feet on the earth, knees to the sky? Or maybe the legs are extended and feeling that openness in the front of the body with the pillow supporting the legs. Maybe arms rest on the body, hand on the heart, hand on the low belly. Or maybe palms open up to the sides, keeping that spaciousness and take up space like you're a big starfish on the ground or in the bed. Maybe we hang out here. One last option for a little bit more openness. Perhaps that pillow that's underneath the head would feel nice to go lengthwise underneath the torso. So it's fully supporting you from the base of the spine all the way up to the head and the neck. And you're able to just peel your arms open to the sides, getting an even bigger heart opener, and that your heart space is fully supported by that pillow. Maybe you try that out. Maybe it feels good to hang out there. Maybe you say nope, and you want to put it back and just rest with it under the head. Taking a moment to make any adjustments you need, any wiggles, any shifts, any blankets. Maybe a wiggle of the jaw, maybe a look from left to right, maybe just a wiggle of the toes. We'll take a few breaths here together, in through our nose, sighing it out. 2 more breaths like that, really giving yourself permission to make it audible. Feel that vibration of your breath, releasing some tension, releasing some energy. Please enjoy this posture as long as you have time for. Let it really soak and settle in. I hope you enjoyed this movement. May you feel blessed. May you feel guided. May you feel held. I look forward to seeing you next time.